Alright, so we have Bruno Silva, not the flyweight one, but the other one, who's coming off a 2.5 year absence. He had a USADA suspension. It's his debut in the UFC, so a lot of X factors there. Is he off the peds? Was he on the peds? I don't actually know, but yeah, it is what it is. That's why he was suspended. And he's returning against Wellington Turman. So he's coming off his first KO loss, or his first loss that he was finished in. Previously, he had the energy of a guy that's had complete faith in his chin. He was taunting and shit like that. He was very confident, didn't have the best striking defense, just thought he could walk through everything. That's the type of vibe that I got from him. And, his chin got cracked, so we'll see how he comes back, see if he comes back with the same posture, see if he comes back with the same energy, really. Yeah. So in the striking for these two, so for Turman, his stand-ups, it's improved a lot since the regional scene. He used to have very poor stand-up, very wild, but now he's kind of sharpened it up a little bit. It's serviceable, definitely. And Bruno Silva, he's a southpaw. He will fight in orthodox occasionally, but he likes to fight in southpaw. Mostly, he likes to fight in the front foot, likes to kind of stalk his opponent. He does have a nice jab, but it seems to me that he doesn't have a great awareness of range. He throws a lot of naked kicks in range, in boxing range, and it, has got him caught in the past. And he's always looking for opportunities to throw knees to the head in the clinch, looking to clinch up, throw knees to the body. And off that jab of Bruno Silva, I think Wellington Turman is going to look for that pull too, which he seems to like. He likes to end a lot of his combinations with a 3. Probably his straight right to left hook would be his favourite combination. He doesn't mind the teep to the body, as I said before, usually likes to take the front foot, likes to pressure his opponent, so that teep to the body kind of forces the opponent on the back foot and allows him to continue his forward motion. But yeah, as I said, he has one gear, basically just goes forward. He likes to crash into the clinch after he throws a combination when the opponent's near the fence, just pushes them against the fence, clinch, and then he works his takedowns from there. And Bruno Silva, he'll just kind of back up, or he'll just kind of cover up when his opponent comes forward with offense. Like if they're throwing combinations, he looks to be purely defensive. Doesn't really look to counter, very rarely looks to counter, and I think this is going to allow Turman to crash into the clinch with no repercussions, really. And a few other things that Bruno Silva does on the feet that get him in trouble is that he doesn't set up his offense, doesn't set up his power shots, and he frequently overextends, on his straight right. Because he's not setting up his power shots, his opponents see his striking entries, coming from a mile away, so they're able to level change underneath, or, whatever, and Wellington Turman, he does the same thing. He overextends, he telegraphs basically everything, but he's going to be the guy in this matchup looking for takedowns. He likes to get in the clinch, look for inside leg trips from there, outside leg trips, breaks the opponent's posture, got him against the fence, he'll get the wrestling ride, look for mat returns, just leg trips from there, just controlling the opponent. And he has a nice double leg on the fence as well, when he turns the corner, he'll go into a bodylock position, chain wrestling, uses wrestling ride grip from there, and just continue rinse and repeat just with the mat returns. And for Bruno Silva, he seems to let his opponents get the double unders quite easily, so I think that bodylock is going to be open all day for Wellington Turman. And Bruno Silva doesn't look like he has a lot of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Like, if you just look at his record, just not even looking at tape, just, don't even worry about tape, just look at his record. He's got 0 wins by submission and 5 losses by submission. But if you just watch tape, you'll see he's not very good off his back. He doesn't get back to his feet very well, doesn't have very technical get-ups. His takedown defense isn't great, He gives his back to get up. Yeah. And Wellington Turman, he's a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt. He's looking to advance to position immediately. Sometimes can be too hasty with it and just lose position, but I think he's got a huge grappling edge in this fight. How these guys win fights, so for Wellington Turman, he's very strong in the wrestling ride or the body lock position. And for Bruno Silva, he's very durable. He hasn't been knocked out in 25 fights, and he's faced a bunch of, juiced Russians as well in the Russian regional scene, but yeah, he seems very durable. And he's got killer instinct as well. If he does get you hurt, and he does have a bit of power, and if he does get you hurt, he will go for the finish, and he, has good instinct for it. These guys lose fights, so for Wellington Turman, it's the striking tendencies we discussed before. For Bruno Silva, he has poor takedown defense. He seems to fatigue a little bit after 2 rounds in a high-paced fight, and I believe this is going to be a high-paced fight. past victory for these two. So for Bruno Silva, look to be aggressive early. Don't let him settle in. Don't let him, get reacclimated with the octagon after he's been knocked out cold. Like, try and really give him some, PTSD. Really put the pressure on. Start trying to hit him with some hard shots. Also, when he clinches up with you, look for knees in the clinch, just to try and discourage him from tying up with you at all in the clinch, so he doesn't, get his takedowns from there, but hopefully bait him into a striking match. But also, just test his ego, try and make it a striking match. And for Wellington Turman, extend your combinations on him, but mainly look for the wrestling. I think you have the big advantage there. Look for the reactive double when he blitzes in. Look to get that body lock and then the wrestling right position as much as possible. I think you can really get some good control time there, and then look to take the back from there, maybe rear naked choke city from there. How I see the fight playing out, so I don't think I have a great read of Bruno Silva. To me, it seemed like he was losing a lot of the minutes in his past 5 fights, and it seemed the opponents kind of defeated themselves more than he defeated his opponents. So yeah, kind of weird fights there. I don't know how good he is, really. I don't know if he's UFC level, but it is what it is. Couple that with a huge layoff and my read gets even murkier. So yeah, Turman is solid, but I imagine he comes out fairly passively in this one after the outcome of his last fight. He seemed to be a very confident, fighter, very confident in his durability. So I'm interested to see how, if he upholds that in-your-face aggressive style that he used to come in the octagon with. So, probably does, but kind of interested to see how he does show up. I expect him to grapple a lot more here. Probably goes for the takedown early, and I think he'll get it eventually. I think Silva doesn't have the best takedown defense, but he does have a good initial scramble. But if Turman's able to, chain wrestle, which he is more than happy to do, I think he'll be able to control him, especially if he gets the body lock from there. And if he does get Silva to the mat, I think he'll just be able to control him from there as well. So that's where I think Turman has the big advantage, is in the wrestling, and just by his, control. And I think that'll ultimately tire Bruno Silva out, and he'll maybe even get a late finish. But yeah, probably grinds him out. On the feet, though, they both have similar striking styles. Blitz in the close distance, and then, at distance, they're pretty power right hand heavy. But I do think it's pretty even on the feet. Whoever's on the front foot, whoever's taking the initiative on the front foot, I think they'll be winning the stand up, because both of these guys not too comfortable off their back foot. But yeah, I do think Turman is going to win it with his wrestling, and we'll have a look at the betting lines. So I think this line should be flipped. I don't think Bruno Silva should be the favourite. I think the price is correct, but the line should be flipped. I do have Wellington Turman by decision. I wouldn't be surprised at a submission after he takes the back, or just wherever, really. One bet I was looking at was Wellington Turman by submission. Like, this guy's been sub 5 times. Turman, he's a good Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu practitioner, so I think he he could definitely find the submission here. If I get plus 500 or $6 for Turman by sub, then I'll probably hit that. I think I'm going to get that price too. And for Turman, just the money line, anything above, well, right now, I'll definitely play him, but I think his value, anything above plus minus 150 or $1.67, so I think the line's quite off, actually. And I am going to bet Turman at this price for sure, but yeah, probably not too big, just because I don't have the greatest read on Bruno Silva and how good he is, but I think this is a good matchup for Wellington Turman.